Today we have two very special guests. These two people I've gotten to know. I've been to they have a church called One Accord, which is magnificent worship center. I've been to Pastor Terrell and Lady Tiffany have been married 14 years together, 17. Breaking point became the miracle of their marriage. A marriage challenged by complexities of communication, growth, and learning to build a life together. Advocates for the power of the two-parent home, which is very important.
Very.
They've hosted TV shows, written books, produced films, led events designed to positively influence culture and model strong faith-centered family life. Creators of the Beyond the Pulpit podcast. So introducing to many and to some, Pastor Terrell Monger and First Lady Tiffany Monger.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
so
you for
glad
coming.
To be here.
We are so glad to have you.
Definitely. Is there something that I didn't say in the bio that you want to tell our listeners and viewers about you all?
No, you did a great job. Yeah. We're just lovers of life and want to invite people into that loving life world. That's it.
Yeah.
I always tell people when their bio is read, I'm like, so y'all not just looking good in person, y'all look good on paper too.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, like I said, we're glad that you accepted the invite to come here. I've been at an event where I spoke at and you spoke at before in the past when I first officially met you, and then like I said, I visited the church a couple of times. So I'm glad, we got a chance that we're able to do this, and I see some more collaborations in the future, hopefully. So
no, man, we're glad to be here. We was we were rushing, but we were like, no, we can't miss this moment. Let's get it done.
So I'm gonna go ahead and ask you. My first question is: 17 years of knowing each other, how did you all meet, and what made you pivot to marriage?
I said, how do we meet? Can I go first?
Please.
What happened was she thought I was fine. No, I'm just playing. No, it just at the time I was healing from some past situations in my life, and I felt like I was at a point that I was healed, and I felt like God said that I was about to meet my wife. So at that moment, I just started preparing myself for whatever that looked like. I didn't want to be connected with anybody. I didn't want to be dating anybody. I wanted to be ready for this wife that God was about to send my way. And I happened to go to my sister's birthday party, and I was sitting with my best friend. He's been my best friend since 10th grade. And this young lady walked through the door, and he said, "There you go right there, T." And I looked up and saw her. I said, "Oh, no, that's a problem waiting to happen right there." No, I could no.
Whatever that means.
No, she is too pretty. She might cost too much, But as the day went on, she knew my sister, and my sister gave me her phone number. And so the next day my sister called. She said, "Did you call her?" I was like, "Man, I am not about to call that woman. She out of my league." And she said, "Boy, just give her a call." So I called her and happened to catch her while she was about to run into the bank or wherever she was going in. And she answered the phone, and she was like, "Hey, I'm about to go into the bank, and I'll call you right back." And I said, "See, that's why I wasn't going to call. The beautiful ones hurt you every time. Prince was right." But she happened to call back. She called back about 20 minutes later, and we ended up talking on the phone for about 4 hours. And so we finally went on a date. And on that first date, we were in the middle of a conversation, and I just heard God's voice say, "That's your wife." I didn't tell her because I didn't want to run her off, but I knew she was my wife when on our first date. So,
wow, that's something, man. I mean,
But let me add to that, because everything that he said, but from my end, I was at a place where I was wanting something different, because whatever I was choosing wasn't the best choices. And I remember praying to God, whatever I've been doing, I don't want that anymore. So whatever I need to see, whatever mindset I need to change, help me, because whatever I'm doing is not working. Met him, and we were different. I had to learn, don't say that wasn't your type, because that can be offensive. No, it was just different than what I was used to, if that's a nice way to put it. And on our first date, this man asked me a very unique question, something I've never been asked on a date. And in the middle of the conversation, he asked, "So what is your vision?" Now, in my mind, I'm going to be honest, I didn't know what he meant, But I'm thinking he wear glasses. I don't.
Oh,
I didn't know he meant vision.
vision beyond the actual
Vision,
seeing.
boy, beyond you can see.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that to be honest, to say I didn't know how much I lacked because it exposed. Oh, you don't have vision.
Okay.
But when he said that, something in me was like, you need that. Because if you would have caught me years before that, I'd be like, what he talking about? He's talking about vision. And
You would have thought he was trying to be deep.
yeah,
Like, oh, this is one
absolutely.
of them-
Like I just want to, talk about, the latest TV show. But that moment let me know, pause in that. You need that. Just stick it through. And here we are.
Okay.
That's beautiful to me. I love to hear how a couple met, how a strong, godly couple met. I'll say that. And for him to ask you about vision.
On the first date.
You said, like, there could have been a time that you'd be like, what he talking about? But it's like God gets you right in that moment at that very right time. And then when you pray and he brings exactly what you prayed for. Sometimes it's like, okay, wait.
Because we can disqualify many opportunities that God is sending us because we're leaning to our own understanding. And I know me, I would have done that if you would have just met me just a year earlier. And I just know that I prayed and this was so different. And usually when God do things, he doesn't do things that's familiar. And that's why I told myself, stay there. Because in the past, again, I would have done something the total opposite.
God's timing.
Yes.
I want to start with something that's very dear to my heart because I'm a very creative person. So I want to get started with the stage plays and the films. You recently had 2 sold-out shows of Something She Can Feel. Congratulations, Dr.
Congrats
Ken.
on that.
Thank you.
Tell us about this film and how you got started in theater and production.
Yeah, well, as far as the film first, actually, my wife had an experience with Bad Boys.
Okay.
And me being
Okay.
a reformed bad boy,
Excuse me.
we had these creative debates. And it started from what she thought, there's nothing wrong with a guy dating a lot of women until he finds the one he want to settle down with.
As long as he's honest.
Yeah, as long as he's honest.
Right.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And so me being a reformed bad boy, I said, no, it doesn't work like that. If I can date several women, why would I settle down with one? When you're having a problem or you got an attitude, I go talk to the one that doesn't have an attitude and let you get over yourself. And if I leave you, I'll just put another one in your place. If I'm dating multiple women, I'm emotionally unavailable and I can't invest. And I said, in being honest, what version of this honesty? He'll give you the level of truth that you can handle. He's not going to give you the level of truth of what he's really thinking. And so we debated back for weeks. And then finally she understood it. And that was the first argument I ever won. And I wrote a book about it called Something She Can Feel. And it dealt with the emotional needs of women and how men use those emotions to manipulate them. And so how I even got into stage plays, when we were getting ready to release that book, our commercial was on TV and everything. And a friend of mine who I used to rap with back in the day, Tila, wife, saw the commercial on TV and she told him about this book. And he saw the commercial and was like, that's my boy T. So he hit me up and wanted me to do marriage counseling with him and his wife. And so while we were talking, we was talking about some other things. He was talking about the phase he was in his rap career. And I said, man, let me write a stage play about our life and just see how people respond to it. And so the first stage play I wrote was called Use Me Till You Use Me Up. And it was talking about our journey where we used to rap together. I became a pastor. He became this popular rapper and everything. But life situations brought us together. And where we connected at one point, we reconnected at another point, and my relationship with God helped him. So we ended up having like 6 sold out performances
I was at one of those.
Yeah, my
I
favorite
saw
plays.
that.
Yeah, and
Was Fro in that?
Fro was in it too.
Okay.
Fro was in it too. And so the very last show we did, he brought his management team to it, and his management team saw it and was so excited. They renewed his management contract, and he ran out to Atlanta and left me again. But I discovered a new gift. And since he wasn't there for us to do the Use Me stage play no more, I ended up writing a stage play on Something She Can Feel, and that's what started the journey. So, yep.
That's unique in how
It is.
that experience allowed you to pivot, because you said you were a reformed bad boy, you were a reformed Piston, and then you became a Spur.
Come on.
But and I'm a Chicago Bull, so I'm trying to, I'm gonna leave that alone. But yeah, so I get it. Instances, different things that happen turn into epiphany moments can really change and transform anyone's life.
Yeah.
I tell someone, whether they believers or not, I'm a believer, but even for folks I've come in contact that are not, and I get to talking to them about things, I said that you had an epiphany moment which allowed you to shift from one way of thinking to another way of thinking
good.
because of some transformational event in your life that allows you to be like, okay, because either at some point either you gonna get it or you can continue to do what you normally do.
Stuck in a cycle.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you keep doing the same thing over and over, then you pretty much gonna keep getting the same results.
Exactly.
It's insanity.
Yeah. So and
Exactly.
a situation can it can make you better or it can break you to where you're worse.
That's good.
And a lot of times that happens to a lot of, especially fellas, but it happened to women too.
It does.
And it's funny you said about if a guy dates a lot of different women, that goes on both ends. And I guess sometimes people think, well, until I know what it is or who it is that I want, if I'm going out with people, that's one thing. But if there's a whole lot of other relational things that are going on, then that's something totally different.
Right.
Because I think sometimes some people may go out with somebody and they're like, I don't really see or feel anything, but this person is nice as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't take advantage of that.
Right.
You got some people who do, but some people don't. Then other times you may date someone and you like them, but then they still having issues from stuff in their past. And it's like, okay, I always like people to be transparent.
Yeah.
And I try to be transparent because, I be like, big boy, I got my big boy pants on. I mean, I'm not going to like it if that's not the case. But, yeah, I try to treat others as I want to be treated.
Yeah.
We know that to be truth, but everyone don't always operate like that.
Right.
Some don't intentionally, some do intentionally. But regardless, if you're grown and you say that you have a heart for the Most High, when you know if you're doing wrong.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people get complacent in it, and they'll come up with a bunch of excuses.
Something in that though. I remember you saying that Lady Tiffany was like, it's okay to go out, with multiple women as long as you put that
Wrong
be honest
person. No, ma'am, I didn't say that.
Okay.
It was somebody else that said that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, never will I tell a man that. But fix that story.
Fix it.
Yeah.
Because I may have misunderstood because I'm
Right
I'm
scene, wrong character, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she said as long as he's telling the truth.
Telling the truth, telling the people that he is going out.
Yeah, what he's doing and
Right.
everything. The argument,
That part.
I can't remember who said it, but it was our argument of at least he's telling the truth. That was the basis of her argument.
That was the part that
Yeah.
just really got me. Tell the truth about it.
Right.
If you're going to be doing this,
Right.
make sure you're telling the truth about it.
Yeah, because the thing is, especially with a reformed bad boy,
Reform
You
bad
probably
boy.
gonna get-
I would really love to know exactly what that means, but I'm gonna leave that alone.
you're probably going to only get 75 to 80% of the truth. So whatever I'm saying, there's some things I'm not saying. I'm saying just enough that if I get caught doing something, I told you.
The half truth, right.
So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's the
Yeah.
thing. And so and I don't know if anybody, when you first meet people, I don't think anybody is telling the 100% truth. Hey, are you talking to anybody? No, I'm not talking to anybody. Nobody. You're not talking to nobody. It's rarely that people are 100% telling the truth on anything. You know, you grow to the level of transparency that turns into a truth that helps the marriage. But everybody has something that they don't want to tell the whole truth about to protect themselves. Mm-hmm. So,
You know what I thought you were saying, Miss Erica? Because in our time we were meeting, as he was, coming into this new phase of his life, he was dealing with someone who gave him the option to date other and choose who you wanted. Okay. So I heard with that ear. So when you said that, I'm like, no, I did say that. And I had a whole conversation, girl, in my head. I'm saying, I'm sorry. Because I'm like, no, I didn't. Not me. That was her.
Yeah, just that part about telling the truth. As long as you tell the truth first.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying, too. Yeah. I understand.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying, too, about they're not. Maybe 85% of that is going to be the truth. I see that.
Right. And then you have to hear what people are saying, but you also have to hear what they're not saying. So and when you establish a truth between both of you, it has to be safe enough for transparency. But at the same time, if they're going to be honest about what they're saying, you have to be honest about what you're feeling. To stay related to you, I can't say, oh, I'm okay with that, when really you're not. You'd be surprised at how many women most of the time say they're okay with the friend title and they're not. Mm-hmm. They say, no, we just friends, I'm okay with that. But you just hoping it turns into something more. Right. So now you're upset. Well, I thought we would be more than this. And he said, I told you we were just friends. And you act like you were okay with it, but you weren't. And so you got to be able to say, well, I'm not interested in just being a friend. And you got to say that up front because that's going to call him to either step to the table or get out of the way for the one that's meant for you. Exactly. Anybody that's telling their level of truth, you got to be sure to tell your level of truth too before your emotions get involved and you start grading on a curve.
Exactly.
Well, I done gave them 8 months of my life. I'm going to see what it look like for a year. Next you know, you with this same person
8 years
for
later.
5-6 years. Holding on to that same lack of truth that you should have shared 6 years ago.
Exactly.
That's good.
Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm.
So what you all saying, my next question is, what advice would you give couples who are considering marriage but have ambitious goals individually? Because ambition, I'm going to just say for myself, being an ex-athlete to just anything that I do creatively, I have that. One of my favorite players, of course, besides Mike, is Kobe Bryant. So that Mamba mentality is like, it's not just a saying with me. I mean, we was pretty much the same age, of course, before he passed away or not. But whether it's something that I did athletically or artistically, creatively, anytime, I'm competitive. And it's not so much as with other individuals. It's really with myself. Like, okay, how can I bring the best version of JD? If someone likes it, that's cool. I like that. If someone don't like it, I don't have any to give because it's not about what you're thinking. And I know sometimes people who lack that ambition, they be like, oh, I'm not self-absorbed. I can open up to someone that I see that genuinely care about me, but I know that if I got a goal or something I'm trying to attain and I'm prayed about it, I'm going at it with my all. And sometimes that has in the past made others feel like I'm not obsessed with it, but I know it's not going to get done if I don't have some level of focus, on what it is I'm trying. So different people have different levels of their ambition. You can still be ambitious and still have compassion and not be selfish, but there will be some sort of measurement of selfishness anytime you're trying to obtain a goal, because if you're not, how's it going to get obtained? That's just how I see it. Yeah. But I'm going to let you all answer that question, man. I just thought I'd give that backdrop of it.
Yeah, that's actually a great question.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to say me, I almost destroyed our marriage.
Okay.
I'm very ambitious. the first 3 stage plays that I did, she was right there with me in each one of them, at rehearsals, all of that. And then we started doing our TV show, He Said, She Said. And it was hot. It was talked about at the barbershops, and everybody loved it. We killing it. And it was time for us to film one of the, we were filming 4 episodes at a time. It was time to go film the episode. And I come home and I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm not going." What do you mean you're not going? I was like, "Ike Turner, you ain't on stage. You about to be on stage." And she said, "I'm tired. I'm not going." And I didn't understand. What do you mean? We hot right now. What are you doing?
Just had a baby.
Yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
had just had a baby, all of that. And so, but the challenge was, and this was my revelation. I was so busy showing off my strokes, how well I can swim, and then realized my partner was drowning. She was so supportive of me that I never asked her what she wanted.
Wow.
I never asked her what she wanted. And so, mind you, I'm a new pastor. Everybody at the church loved me, ignoring her. Everybody honoring me, ignoring her. Doing all the stage, Pastor, do another stage play. Pastor, do this. You do, oh man, you the first person to ever do a full soundtrack to a stage play. I want to be in the next stage play. I want to be on the next soundtrack. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I do. Let's go. Then totally ran off and left my wife and didn't even know it. And so a wedge had come between us. And so in typical man fashion, I'm like, "You getting in the way of my dream. What's wrong with you, woman?" I ain't say that, but that's what I thought.
I felt it. I did.
And so our marriage had come to a difficult point, had nothing to do with another woman, had nothing to do with money. What I was calling my dream was drained in my marriage. And so she didn't feel seen, she didn't feel heard, and it led to us separating and almost ending up in divorce.
Yeah.
You want to jump in on that?
Oh, it's a lot because while he's saying that, y'all, I'm like going back down memory lane. And that was a hard time. For real, I'm trying to, and I think that's why our passion about marriage is so strong now. It's not this cliche thing, because people can go on and make these suggestions like they were doing it. I mean, they was hyping my husband up. But we at home struggling to understand each other, struggling to hear each other. Again, I just had this baby. Now, I admitted earlier that I was a person who didn't have a vision. Now, my vision was to one day be a wife, have a family, have a good father. We can raise our kids. He told me that he was a person that, was a busy man. But at that time, he did take a break for him to nourish our relationship. But after that time, he took off, and it was on another level. So I didn't know what to expect. Then coming into me in ministry, I don't have that. Oh, I've been in, my mother and father was a pastors. No, I didn't have church culture. So now I'm trying to figure out these new identities, becoming a pastor's wife. That came with a share of insecurities because I'm this 30-year-old woman. Who gonna listen to me? Because, you used to these first pastor's wives being, 60 and 70. And here it is, you come. You coming in this young. Who gonna listen to you, little girl? So I had all these quiet insecurities, trying to find who I was. Because in the midst of us going through that was the question that helped me find myself. And he asked me, what make you happy? He's like, if you didn't have me, if you didn't have children, what would you be doing? What fulfills you? And I didn't have that answer. And that's when I realized I did not have an identity outside of my husband.
Wow.
And check this out. And in my mind, I was doing it biblically. When we first got married, I told her in the Bible, when a person first got married, they didn't go off to war or anything for a year to nurture their family. So I told her, I'm going to take a year off all the things that I'm doing. I'm a very busy person, but I'm going to take a year off. So for a year, it was all about family, all about everything we were doing. But after that year, I took off.
Day one.
And I'm thinking, I'm going by the Bible. What is wrong with you, woman? And so we separated, and we were one court date away from divorce. We had went through, filed the papers, have been in the court. You know, them lawyers like y'all to be mad at each other so they can take all your money. So they lied to her, lied to me. It was working. Ugly, and we couldn't stand each other. I'm talking about.
I was nice to you, babe.
But you couldn't stand me. She was nice.
Yeah.
She was nice.
That was valid, but I still held my post down. You said
my very voice gave you anxiety.
And that's why I stopped showing up to church.
Yeah, she stopped showing up to church. But this is what God did. I always want to see a miracle in my lifetime. This is what God did. I was speaking, because also I'm a nerd. I work in IT at a Fortune 500 company. So anytime the other companies wasn't using the technology, they would send me out so I could simplify, make it plain to them, and everybody buy into it so we won't waste the money on all this new technology we have. So I'm speaking in Rome, Georgia. You got people from Europe, from China, from Svetogorsk, just all different races and nationalities. And I'm speaking, and I'm killing the room. You know when you got the room eating out of the palm of your hand, I'm killing it. After I got through speaking, the IT manager comes up and he says, man, it's hard to talk to some of these people one-on-one, and you had the whole room captivated. At that moment, I heard God say, you can talk to all these people and you can't even talk to your wife. So I go back to my hotel and I'm looking at this phone. And
that was a Mike Tyson punch.
Oh, my God.
God gives the whole truth.
Oh, my God.
He Mayweathered you on that.
He's looking in that mirror like,
So I get back in the hotel and I'm looking at the phone and I decide to call her and I said, hey, listen, I know we're about to get a divorce. I'm not trying to change your mind, but we got these kids. I said, can I at least learn how to be your friend? And she said, I would like that. I got back to town. We went out to eat with the kids and she was sitting across the table from me and she said, man, let's talk. And I said, you're beautiful. And she teared up. And I was like, whoa.
I'm up here blinking now.
Yeah, it's like, what? And when she said that, she said, you know, you've never said that before. And I said, we've been married 5 years, dating 7. And I've never told her she was beautiful. And I was just convicted. And I showed that I was so busy trying to make her into what I thought she should be that I never appreciated who she was.
Uncle, sorry.
y'all gonna make me cry.
Be yourself, man. That's
That's just
real.
beautiful, and I'm loving it.
You know, that's.
If I had some tissue.
And that was a turning point. And so at that moment, I reprioritized my whole life. And that's when I understood the phrase. Well, you hear people say it, but I understood the phrase that your marriage is your first ministry. I heard it, but I didn't understand it.
I hear that often. And me being a single guy, I hear that a lot. And I was like, okay, well, you know, should I ever get married, then I understand that. I don't, and I always, when I've hung around guys who were married and folks be like, you know, we may go catch a game at the sports bar or whatnot, and folks like, well, I got to go home. Other guys like, you got to go home. I would be like, hey, man, don't listen to that, man. You got to do what you're supposed to do, Doc. Because if it was me, I ain't messing up myself for nobody. But, hey, I'm not with anybody, so I'm going to stay here and watch. But other folks like, you know what, man, I was like, so I get what you're saying. I would hear that. And so I'm an alpha male, but I'm not so to the point where I'm like, because, you know, you just got to, compassion. I consider myself an alpha male with compassion and sensibilities, you know, for the most part. But, you know, I've been around guys who like, man, you know, see, I come home when I get home, you know, shoot them up like, okay, I know not to take no advice from you. Right. But, you know, it's to each his own. Like I said, one size don't fit all. But, you know, when you get to thinking like that, then to me, you're only thinking of self. And it's only a matter of time before, like R. Kelly said, somebody going to get fed up.
Yeah. And may I say this, that also one of the things that we are big on, number one, our biggest thing is we fight to stay on the same team.
Yes.
But the other thing that I'm very big on is give each other the grace to grow.
Yeah.
We come from two different worlds.
Yeah.
We were raised differently.
Yeah.
And the two are becoming one. That's an ongoing thing. I'm constantly changing. With him asking me my happy, I have evolved, thanks be to God, into so many different layers of myself that I didn't even know or see in myself. That's the beauty of who you partner with. Even when he and I was going through our divorce, I said, you know what? I know we're here, but in my heart of hearts, me and you were meant to do purpose together. And my mind don't change, even if you are not with me. And just so happened, here we are. And we have been what? Doing purpose together.
Yeah.
And one of those things are what the enemy meant for bad. Here we are with the purpose of pushing marriage.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful to me because I look at the fact, you were saying in the beginning, you weren't really sure about a vision. You weren't really sure about any of this. And then you were almost to this road to divorce. And God took that thing and made it into something so much more beautiful. And in the process, gave you a vision too.
Yes. That's the game changer. So I have an identity outside of my husband.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where, and I had major daddy issues. So I was clingy, needy. And you can be this grown, thriving, bill-paying, well-kept person. And there's a little boy, a little girl that has not been dealt with. And I was needing this man to fulfill unknowingly and unintentionally my little girl broken issue, daddy issues.
I've experienced that with talking to someone before, so and
It's real. It's a real thing.
Yeah, I was like, hold up, like, ma'am, can I breathe?
You need a therapist. Go get some help. Go get some help.
So and that's something that when I see and I feel, I kind of like, okay, like we'll do some things together, but we can't do everything. We're individuals. And, and that can go both ways. I'm only speaking from a guy's point of view, but so for you to say that, I've been around women who have exhibited that, and they may not realize it, and then some they might, and they don't it's not a big thing to them, but that's to me, that's the equivalent of someone being, how should I put it, the term when someone is
Codependent?
Jealous.
No, okay.
Jealous.
Yeah.
I can't think of that word right now. I normally would think of that word, but someone is always being jealous, insecure.
Okay.
That's what the word I was looking for. Someone who have insecurities about. We all have to some degree insecurities about ourselves. You got to be real with yourself in order to be real with anybody else. But that being too clingy or insecure will weigh down a person.
Yeah.
And I've experienced that in my lifetime. And it was just like, and these were beautiful women and good at heart and cared about them, but that became too much because it's like, it's just too much because that's a whole lot. If you super clingy and you don't give them any space, or if you insecure, everything is a question like where you go, who's all there, and this and that constantly, and it's like, I was doing this before I met you. You're not a sports person. I'm a sports person. You're not this or that. That's fine. You got your thing. I have mine. We can do it together if you want to. But if not, then give me the space to be able to still enjoy that, and our time together be our time together.
It took a therapist for me to realize that. So I'm saying if I wouldn't have gotten that question, and he just so happened to ask me that question, and that was another wow.
Okay.
And just imagine putting all of those responsibilities on one person to fulfill. And that's when I got to see, wow, even though he's talking about he was showing off his stroke and forgetting about me, but I also was putting a responsibility on him that it wasn't his to fulfill.
And there is something, if you are committed to a relationship, whether it's the man or the woman, if you're committed to a relationship and your partner has been hurt, it's their responsibility to heal, but it is your responsibility to help them heal.
What does it look like?
Yeah, thank you. I love when she does that. She want me to break it down.
Yeah,
like, stop being so deep. Break it down. What that means is only consistency can heal a heart. Cardi B said in her song, "You even got me tripping, got me looking in the mirror different, thinking I'm flawed because you're inconsistent." If I'm inconsistent, she can't heal. I have to consistently show her I'm here for you. I'm here with you. And communicate. Like whatever clinginess or insecurity she had early in our relationship, she don't have them now because I help by being consistent. You can have a password to all my social media, to my phone, wherever I say I'm going to be there. I don't feel like I'm being less than man to say, hey, I was over here, now I'm headed over there. But now in our relationship, she don't have to check on me. I don't have to check on her because she's healed. Now, did I heal her? No, but I didn't wound her again.
That's good.
You get what I'm saying? And so only consistency can help your partner heal. You can't shame them into it. You can't bully them into it. You can't blame them into it. It's just, baby, I see you're hurt. All of that is not my fault, but I'm going to help you heal. Whatever you need to know, call me whenever you want to. You want my passwords, whatever it is, I got you. She don't care about none of my passwords. When I leave the house and go to the gym at 5 a.m. She ain't checking, where you going, what you doing? Because my consistency helped her trust me, and trust helped to heal her.
That's love. That's love.
We're there now.
That's love.
And you'll think she don't sweat me about nothing. Nah. Even when we were about to get a divorce, when she didn't come back waiting on me to prove to her that we deserve to be together. Matter of fact, I was waiting on her to trip. I was like, she got one more time. It's over for good. She was so, she didn't sweat me. She didn't ask questions, but I made sure myself that she know I see you, I understand you. So now, whatever issues we had, I know for at least for the last 7 years, we have had well, I ain't gonna say we had no problem.
Right, we get on each other's
I
nerves
still leave my shoes in the floor.
All day, real quick.
I still drink the last Coke in the refrigerator sometimes. She lose her mind.
Yeah, we still snap off.
But as
Very
far
minor.
as that, we
Right.
have no issues concerning it. So.
But that was a process.
Yes.
And that's the key in everything that you said. I hear you, and I can understand that. But it's not an overnight thing. And
No.
some people think it's they'll take what you just said here on our podcast and take that snippet and be like, hey, you see what he said? You see how he said it? It's like, hold up. No, I'm not saying this personally. I'm just saying in general because I know people who they find like they soundbite. They soundbite people. They'll take one. Yeah, they'll take one clip. I said it's much more to it than just that soundbite.
Yes.
You know, it's a process with anything in life. You know,
Yes.
a caterpillar don't become a butterfly until it goes in that cocoon.
That's right.
But people be wanting, you know, we live in a microwave generation, and in order to really have something, you got to slow cook things.
Yeah.
Crock pot is what I call it. You got to crock pot that thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, so I get what you're saying. I know some people's like, because they'll be like, see, he said it right there, and you got to insulate.
Give me your password.
Yeah, you know, folks.
I just met you, girl.
Folks got to, you know, it's a process with everything.
Yeah. And I had to count up the cost myself. Yeah. Number one, about 8 years before I met her, I had been divorced before. And I knew the shame, the guilt that came with it. I thought God could never use me again. It took me like 3 or 4 years to even forgive myself. I know how much that costs. And then at the same time, now I'm a pastor. This is what I dreamed of. I had to count up the cost. If my marriage ended in divorce, if I disappoint, here it is, another one of God's daughters, how long will it take me to get over this? So wherever we are, I got to fix this. Because I don't have that many more years to give away anymore. So I had to count up the cost. What is the cost of her heart being healed? Okay, I can afford that. Let me do that so we can get on with vision.
And we're both willing to do the work.
Yes,
so it's
both
not
willing.
You fix me. You not work. It's not there yet. No, I'm going to be accountable as well.
Yeah. Got to be a willing participant.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. And she ain't never been the type to just sweat me about nothing either. You know, and so, like you said, for the people who listen to that clip, she played a part in it too. It wasn't just all me. Yeah. She was on her own healing journey. Yes. I just helped in the healing journey by not wounding her again.
That's good. That's good. Go to the second question that I had.
The second?
Hey, this has been a great conversation. I just let it.
It's great.
I let it ride because I'm like, I'm loving this. For a second,
me
I
too.
got
I
two
am
until he
too.
did his second question. So
Okay.
then I knew that I was on my second question because the conversation is just good. I'm
Yes.
learning.
This is refreshing.
It's like it's cool when you have singles in the building and you got the married folk in the building. So
And
I
people
listen.
are being transparent. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
transparent, honest, and real about no fairy tale dust. Like, oh, it's
Absolutely.
well, it's the sweetest thing. Like this, and it's it's like okay.
And to be honest about where you messed up, and to be honest about recognizing your wife's feelings and where she is, and for God to bring that together and let that miracle fix your marriage.
That was my
loving it.
miracle. That's my miracle.
Something else that
Likewise.
I am loving that I read in the bio, and I let that be a part of my second question because this is beautiful to me. Your mission is simple: to show that no matter the obstacles, restoration is possible, love can be rebuilt, and the future of the family is bright.
Yeah.
I would like you both to expound on this.
I'll say from my point, and it's intrinsic on my part. Like I said, it took both of us to do it, but I remember living in the housing projects, dad in jail. He was a drug dealer and a pimp and went to jail for murder. My mom couldn't handle the pressure of raising all these kids by herself, had a nervous breakdown, and went into a mental institution. So my childhood was very unstable. And I remember walking in from school on a Thursday and watching Heathcliff Huxtable interact with Theo Huxtable. And I said, that's what I want. It's too late for me to be a Theo, but I can be a Heathcliff. So that really saved me from a lot of challenges growing up. So deep down in my heart, I wanted to be a good man.
Yes.
I wanted to be a good father. I wanted to have a healthy family. Even though I went through challenges, it didn't change the fact that I really, really, really wanted it. And so when you really want something, it's like, any opportunity you see of creating it, you jump on it. And so as much as I thought it was over for us, I saw a little window of opportunity of maybe not. And because I jumped in fully, no trepidation, no fear, no doubtful thinking, no worst case scenario, I was like, no, I believe this can work.
Yeah.
Restoration came. See, most people go into restoration saying, well, let's see what's going to happen. First problem, you can't go into it seeing what's going to happen. You got to say, we are going to turn this around, because obstacles can still come. But just like you, how you say you're purpose driven, vision driven. If one of these cameras broke, you ain't gonna stop doing this podcast. You're gonna say, how much is another camera? How much it costs to get it fixed? You're gonna figure it because you want to do this podcast. I want my marriage to work. So one obstacle not gonna make me say, well, it didn't work. See that I told you. No, I want this to work. So it's a positioning of the heart. Anything can be restored if you really want it to be restored. So that's my view.
I feel like I'm in church. I'm over here getting full, Miss Erica, okay? So I'm trying to stay calm in my seat to answer your question. My a little bit of my backstory, because I did come from dysfunction. My father was had a major drug habit. I was in a home of domestic violence. My mom was a single parent, and my mother was the man and the woman. I had resentment issues because I felt like my mother didn't stand up to my father. So I was this little short, strong black woman. I wish I would let a man do my like my father did my mother. Time went on, and I can't imagine how many relationships I went with that mentality. And as time went on, God had to let me know, daughter, that wasn't your fight. That was your mom's fight. Take that battle off of you. So that was one thing that God revealed to me in regards to relationships. And I didn't get that understanding until I met him. And that was 2009. I was 30 years old. So just imagine what my courting life was in my 20s, okay? I was a strong thug. But just got to a point where I was tired of myself. And now that here I am with my daughters, have a blended family, tried that world, thinking I knew what I was doing, had a lot of trials and errors in that, having bringing two girls in the world. I love saying this, not because it's a spiritual thing to say. Me and my husband got an opportunity to be cycle breakers. This stops here.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm willing to do the work. Like I said, he can't heal me. God had to let me know, he don't make him an idol. He's a good man, but he'll never be me. I am your source. I'm the one that can fulfill you. I'm the one that can dry your tears better. I'm the one that can comfort you. So even when he missed the mark, I pick up all the slack because I'm really the source of whatever goodness he is because of me.
There you go.
So whatever you do, don't ever leave me out the equation of making him and putting him out of his proper place. And so that's why we're able, because God is the head, not just by word of mouth, but by posture and by application, we are able to create this world that we say that we want. And not only that, we're not just thinking about our worlds, we give our daughters a chance to see what it can be.
And I'm gonna tell you, and I tell anytime I'm doing marital counseling, you ain't got to be honest to me, but if you got a spare tire, this marriage ain't gonna work. If you got a work husband or work wife or other person you confide, you can say you want this to work all you want to, but if that spare tire, you okay with the flat coming. But if you know I have no spare tire, I can't afford a flat. So the biggest thing about restoring a relationship is you have to get rid of all of your escape clauses. You have to get rid of all of your catch nets and say, you know what, we about to survive this together. You know, and that's the only way restoration can come. You can't do it by, well, that's my friend. I'm not going to get rid of my friend. Yeah, that's your what? If it ain't our friend, this ain't your friend. We have friends. You don't have an individual friend. If our marriage in trouble, you don't have an individual friend. We are everybody's friend because we have to fix our broken places. That's why a lot of restorations don't work, because they want to keep their just in case of a single life without fully committing to what it takes to build that married life. So
that's powerful.
Very powerful.
Man, y'all have laid some gems down.
I'm learning.
And we always ask questions, our last few questions before we wrap up the interview, that we ask pertaining to the acronym. When I took the word CAP, we know that means slang term, you lying, you on some BS or whatnot. So when I thought of this, I was like, what can I pull? Because I'm an acronym dude, so I end up pulling cultivate, accumulate, prosper, because I feel like in this life, we're all trying, or we should be trying to cultivate something, accumulate some experience, and prosper.
Yeah.
So
for the cultivate part of it, what led you all to cultivate the event March on Marriage?
You want to?
Well, so I'm going to give a disclaimer in my conversation. What led to it, one day I was at home watching TV. Now, granted, it was a gay pride, parade. I am not homophobic. I love all people, okay? Because when you say that, it's a stigma like, wait a minute, what's she trying to say? Has nothing to do with that. Love what you love. And what I tell everybody, what you do is between you and God. So that's my motto. And so in this particular one that I saw, they kept saying, we're coming for your kids. We're coming for your kids. Now y'all going too far. Because now you grown folks do what you want to do. We're not going to pervert innocent, impressionable minds. And in that frustration, and I was in the restroom doing my hair, and I heard the voice of God say, why are you mad? Why, daughter, are you upset that they are loud and proud about what they love? So if anything, get inspired. So if they're glad to parade what they love, why don't you parade what I love, what we love? And you can parade the love marriage between a man and a woman. So no, we're not competing with them. You create a lane like they create a lane. And so that's where I went and said, babe, what about we do a march on marriage. And it took off from there.
That's good.
That's what's up.
Wow.
And so it's not, I'm sorry, it's not, because I know we were, something like, we have so many great ministries doing so many great things, but we know in the city of Memphis there's so much negativity. We're celebrating more baby showers than engagements. The narrative have gone backwards, and us as believers, we don't know how we have indirectly compromised with the ways of the world instead of bringing God's standard and pushing it forward. And so as Christians, we're the quiet ones because we don't want to offend. But the kingdom of violence the kingdom suffered violence, but the violence taken by force. Where are the Christians? Where are the bold ones? Where are the ones that, here I am, send me, I'll go. And so we just want to be representations of what we say, what we believe, and what we're living out loud. And sometimes it's this dogma about Christianity, like, well, you going to hell. No, like I said, that's between you and God. I love being a Christian. Everything that God's tried to keep me from doing, it was for my good anyway. Because most of the things that I was caught up in was making me depressed. I was empty. I was never satisfied. I was never fulfilled. But I understand now that I've come out of it. So we just want to make loving God attractive. Because there's so many benefits than losses that what people think that they're lost. It's so many more gains. What's above all you can ask or think. I don't know why I went there, Miss Erica.
No, what you said was definitely spot on. And people think just because someone says that they're a Christian that they got it either all figured out or everything they do is they float on clouds and they don't stink or nothing like that. And I tell folks like, no, that's not the case. You're still in this flesh. You're just making a conscientious choice to serve the Most High, and even in your faults and in your afflictions and your mistakes, you still get back up.
That's right.
And even what you've done in your past, you're doing your best not to let it define your future. Because I've had people like, I remember, I said, yeah, I did.
The blood cleansed that though.
Yeah, I'm saying,
Hello.
what's going on? What are we talking about?
That's
well,
right.
I'm just, I know that you wrote a book and you got a podcast now, but I said, you remember, and I did. So what are we trying to get at? And then they be like, all right, JD. I'm like, okay, let's keep it like that. Then. Because anyone who has what it says, cast the first stone if you've not sinned.
Yeah.
And we all have people in our family of a different lifestyle. I love my family members.
Yeah.
They know that I love them. I won't want no one to harm them. Whether I agree with their choice of what they do, we understand it and we keep it moving.
Yeah.
But you got some people who it's got to be, whether it's from that perspective or the other perspective, they want everybody to see it their way. No, then everyone's not. You just stand on what you believe in,
right.
do what you're supposed to do, and don't compromise where you stand on. And if you say that you love, you can't love God and not love people.
Absolutely.
It don't mean you got to love their sin.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where you have the so heavenly spiritual, there's no earthly good people. And the people who so no heavenly spiritual, too earthly good that just want to do any and everything. And I'm like, those are two extremes. I'm not straddling the fence, but I know where I stand. Yeah. And I'm not going to, fall to whatever it is that you're trying to push, narrative you're trying to do or whatnot. So, and how you said you had that epiphany from God speaking to you. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's the first thing people say. They just doing that just because. It's like, what? Like, come on now.
But love, and then
love,
I know we can't stay here forever, but I have a beautiful relative who's married a same-sex person, and she loves me. She loves the unapologetic Christian woman that I am, and I have full respect for her and her spouse. And that's what we're missing. Love is going to do what it's supposed to do. So I'm not here to measure your walk. We all have to walk out our own salvation with fear and trembling. I dare not touch that. And so now if you ask me my feedback, yes, I'm going to give you what God would have you to do. But at the end, you don't owe that to me. That's between you and God. But I want to love so well. I want to be known for being so gracious and peaceable, but yet wise and uncompromising, that I've had people, I can sit with the best weed smokers. I got family members, I go to get together, baby, they cushion it up. And I'm just like, what's going on, so and so? And I don't look at them different. I don't snitch my nose
Right.
at them different. But one thing about it, when there's times they come, it ain't enough for them to say, cuz, pray for me.
Yeah.
I need to talk to you, because I remain solid.
Yeah.
I didn't conform. I didn't change. I didn't drop my ball to try to be accepted. I remained in my stance of being true to myself while
Right.
allowing them to be true to themselves.
And they respected you for that.
Absolutely.
You get more respect from that
Yes. Yes. So
because you don't stop them from being who they are. Some people want, and then they want to say, but they're this, and the Bible also talks about judgment.
Mm-hmm.
You can't judge what somebody else is doing. Only God can judge that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know we went from marriage to that, but yeah,
I mean-
I can talk about some good, God talk all day, get my senses going. Okay,
Make
I'm
it flow.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next part of our CAP is the accumulation. When people think of accumulation, they often think of wealth. What have you accumulated in 17 years?
I think as far as us together and around us, our biggest thing is relationships. Relationships is currency. And so the biggest thing between us, whether we agree, whether we disagree, we want our relationship strong. We want to lay down and sleep at night knowing we got each other. It's so funny. When I first met her, I was in love with her at our first day. I was gone, nose open. I was gone. And I was playing this song to her, Music Soul Child, it'll just be you and me against the world. And she was like, I've been through that before.
That sound like bondage.
Yeah. So,
Red flag.
yeah. But now where we are in our relationship, that's where we are. It's me and her against the world. As long as we're okay, we can deal with anything.
Yes.
And then we gather relationships around us that fit where we're trying to go.
nourish it.
And I think you have to accumulate the right relationships. I want to be around other healthy marriages. I want to be around hopeful people. I don't want to hang around complainers. I don't want to hang around devil's advocates. I want to hang around angel advocates. You get what I'm saying? I want to talk to people that believe the possibilities, even though we haven't experienced it. Can we sit around at Starbucks and talk about what's possible? So our biggest thing of what we want to accumulate is healthy relationships, because that's going to shape how you see the world.
And I'll just throw mine that I've accumulated a level of confidence that I didn't once have. Not the shallow kind, not the vain kind, but I have an internal confidence, even with my flawed self and shortcomings, because I've grown to know who I am in Christ for real. I don't, one of the things when we were going through our thing, and that's what I say confidence, I say stuff like this. The nerve, because I stopped showing up at church. Here I am pregnant. I was worried about people thinking she had a baby on pass. She messed around. All these things that was in my head during our time apart. But once I started, in that time away, reflecting, letting God work on my heart and heal me in some areas, I came out just like this. The nerve of you, Tiffany, worried about what other flawed people think about you.
Mm-hmm.
See, I wouldn't have said that when I was insecure. I wish I would care what you think, JD, with your flaw. But that's confidence. Because when we that's the truth. It ain't deep. You're flawed. You may not have minds, but I'm worried about how you gonna see me. Just because I don't see your flaws or know of your flaws. And when you get worried about what people think, baby, you can walk in the room.
Amen.
You can be able to look people in the eye.
Amen.
You know you're not all where you want to be, but because I know who's residing in me, hey, how you doing? Thank you. I'm glad to be in the room.
Yeah.
It's a different, so that's what I've accumulated in this process that, I don't know if I didn't have that before then.
That's powerful. And,
It is.
now, with all the endeavors you all have, how has it allowed you to prosper?
Well, we value the little things. We've even adjusted our ultimate vision. And we want to do a lot together. We want to help people in marriage. We got so much we want to do.
Yeah.
But our main goal is to be two old people sitting on the back of the porch and rocking chairs in front of a lake. That's ultimately what we want.
Yes.
And that's what we agree on. So what we're prospering in is just learning to enjoy the simple things. You know, whether we have a lot, whether we have a little, can we enjoy life in the most tumultuous time?
Yes.
That's what we want. I'm glad my wife is not materialistic. You know, man, she might get on Amazon too much and have to, act like I ain't got no money in my account sometimes.
I got to set a budget. Huh?
Ooh, yeah, Amazon
but
budget.
we do. We just want to be able to enjoy the simple things. Since we can't, our kids, they're a little older now. They're 8 and 11, about to be 12. But since we couldn't do date nights and all that, we'll do date days. On Mondays, we'll go sit out on the lake and just talk and just have fun. So with the whole world around us, I don't care what they take from us, they can't take the simple things that we enjoy.
And that is peace.
Yeah.
I just sit at home. Somebody may say, this is the most boring life ever. God, I thank you for the peace that we once did not have.
Come on.
So that's where we're prospering.
Peace is so important to me.
Priceless.
So important to me. Because it's like in a world where things, you so much over here, you got a job, you got this, and some lives you got kids, you got so much, and it's like all I want is my peace.
That's it.
So if I get into a relationship with somebody, if you're still in my peace, it is not going to work.
It's a problem.
I need my peace.
Amen.
Period.
Over everything.
Yeah, peace of mind is valuable. It's one of the most valuable assets.
I'm telling you.
Because your mind gets so jumbled with so many other things. You can't even think straight without that peace. And I have been in those moments where it's like, I can't even think. I can't even focus on anything creative because I don't have that peace. And then when people, it's like when you start getting closer, the enemy sees that.
Start rubbing your feathers
it's
up.
like Marvin Sapp said in his song, and I've said this recently, the enemy sees what you're about to walk into. That peaceful life that
On the other
surpasses all understanding. You about to walk in that, and the enemy sees that, and whatever he can do to stop that, whatever he can do to try to get someone else
if he can.
to take that away from you, because he comes to steal, kill, and destroy.
He has a job to do.
No, you ain't taking mine.
Well, man, you all have definitely dropped some knowledge on us. So now we're going to pivot to the part of our podcast where we have a little fun. And based off your bio, and some things that we chit-chatted about, I have a question for you. Our segment called Pick One.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you, and Erica's going to ask First Lady Tiffany. So pick one. Avengers, the original Avengers movie, or Captain America Civil War?
Ooh.
You only can pick one.
I gotta say Civil War because they introduced the Black Panther, man. I gotta say that's a hard one, but I believe that's when it really started getting good. Okay. Civil War.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I
like both of them,
you.
but I'm a big Avengers, but Civil War was the introduction of the Black. A lot of people be forgetting that. So and then now with the new Captain America, which I went to the movies to go catch that. You know what I'm saying? So
it ain't the same, but it's.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's evolving. You knew eventually he was going to take the mantle if you look back at.
Correct.
Yeah, so I think it's people actually just seeing it, because I saw some folks in those comments on social media. I'd be looking at these trolls. I'd be like, these people, man, have a problem with any and everything that don't look like them. If it doesn't look like them or fit their narrative, they have a problem. With it. They saying DEI, Captain America. I'm like, it is what it is. But
that's crazy.
But so Captain America Civil War is your choice. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so they went into movies.
Ooh.
So we can do this too. And I found out from a little birdie that some people are like me. Might like some goofy movies, some
Okay.
rom-com movies. I like action and stuff too. So I'm just saying I'm a well-rounded individual. So we gonna say White Chicks or Bridesmaids.
Wow. Wow. That is rough. It's just based on what day of the week it is. Man, but for some reason, I just so love Bridesmaid. I love corny. Nobody's laughing. It's just like that. It's just so stupid. It's so stupid. It's funny. Like, why is it? But so I don't even know what the main character name was in it. But I love Bridesmaid. Yeah, I love the Wayans. I do. Yeah, so that was hard. But yeah, Bridesmaid. If I had to choose which one, if it would came up on the TV right now, I'm probably gonna go Bridesmaids.
I will probably go with the same one. And
It's just stupid.
it's like, and sometimes that's what I need. Sometimes that's what I need. Something that's just gonna be stupid. Some people might not even understand it, but let me curl up and let me,
Right.
even most important, something that's gonna make me laugh.
Yeah.
I need to laugh, and I
Right.
love a good comedy.
Right.
I love laughter,
I love a
especially
good
in so
goofy
many
comedy.
times when you want to cry and scream. I got a chance to just laugh. So some people
Yes.
might not understand it.
That's
but
right. Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we
I'm
go.
gonna watch this Bridesmaid.
It's just stupid. That's just be stupid for no reason.
And one more for good measure. This is for both of y'all, because I'm a '90s R&B connoisseur.
All
I
right,
grew up-
all right.
It's
Me
the soundtrack
too.
to my
It's
life.
a good next thing, right?
Yeah, it's the
we get that
soundtrack to
thing.
my life, man. But between these two songs, "Forever My Lady" by Jodeci or "On Bended Knee" by Boyz II Men.
Whoa. Okay, what's
the
the mood?
divide the house, for
What's the
divide the
mood though? You know what I mean?
you gotta pick
candlelight
one.
Wow, 'cause
dinner?
I know what's my choice.
Oh wow.
Both of them are classics, but you gotta pick
And
one.
they are.
I think you gotta go with Forever My Lady. Right? That's how.
Yeah.
We gotta go with Forever.
That's
My
that
Lady.
mood. That
'Cause
goes with
that
every
was
mood.
like the breakthrough moment. That was like, okay, there's a bunch of thugs out there talking about Forever My Lady.
And I'm about to say that because I'm thinking like with Forever My Lady, you still can boom,
Yeah,
boom,
yeah,
boom.
yeah,
You can still
yeah,
rock with it,
yeah.
boom. But with Bend the Knee, you like.
It's beautiful.
It's so melodic, yeah. So that's like a date night playing mood. But that Forever My Lady, I think it's a little more versatile for us in the Monger household.
Okay. But Jodeci was one of my favorite groups from the '90s.
Yeah.
Of course, Jodeci, Mint Condition,
H-Town.
Yes.
H-Town, of course, from the late '80s to '90s,
Got
New
Silk.
Edition. Because my favorite love song of slow jam of all time is "Can You Stand the Rain." That's my joint.
This we
Anybody-
know for sure. Huh?
Yeah, anybody that knows me know that's my joint. But
Yes.
yeah, that whole flavor of the early '90s. When I'm around students, they like, "Oh, my auntie and them be listening to that." I was like,
I know,
"Your
right?
auntie and them know good music. This is what it is."
Yeah, we was
you
born
know.
in the 1900s. You know,
I
I
that's what
think
they
I
say now,
ruined
the
a lot of
1900s.
it for my
Right.
wife though, with the lyrics.
Oh gosh,
Yeah,
y'all.
like
He
she
about
used
to
to
mess y'all
like
up.
guy,
Watch this, watch
piece
this.
of my love.
Yeah.
And I said, do you realize he's saying you can't have all of me? Because I'm not totally free. I can't tell you everything that's going on.
Yeah.
But he said, listen, I'm giving you a piece of
He
me
broke
you
down.
can have. In other words,
Do you know what you
I
rocking
knew
to?
all that. I
I
used to
did
say
not.
it.
I did not. I did
Some
not.
stuff
I knew
that
it,
you-
but I
because
didn't
Whitney
say it.
Houston had a song too.
We just not. We just
Yeah.
listen to the beat.
Yeah, because Whitney Houston did have a song that was about her whole situationship with a married man.
yeah, a few
And it's-
stolen moments is all that you have.
I'm saving all my love for you.
Saving all my love for you, yeah.
Yeah. So you know, I was like, but R&B back then was you had to have talent, and they
Yes.
told stories, and you had the videos.
Yes.
Now you get people sampling these songs,
And they're rough.
and it's just like, and that's what
It's
students are like, oh.
rough.
That's such and such, Coach Davis. I'm like, no,
No,
that
it
that's
ain't.
that beat is originally
That's
from
the barge beat. That's from the barge.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
But just for added measure, Forever My Lady for me too, because I was a big Jodeci fan,
Okay.
even though I loved Boyz II
Yes,
Men too.
yes.
But
Yeah.
Forever
They got
My
some
Lady,
good ones.
for sure.
yeah. So everyone, we've been having a good show. You see
Yes.
that that link at the bottom of your screen.
It's right there.
Subscribe. If you like the content that we put out, the guests that we've had in the past and currently right now, we definitely appreciate your support. Definitely subscribe. It costs you nothing to subscribe, and we're on all platforms. YouTube, if you visually want to see the podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, if you're an audio listener when you're working out or doing other things. So definitely subscribe. So now, before we go into the next segment of our podcast, if you have any questions that you would like for me and Erica to answer, send them to what, Erica?
The CAP Podcast 3 at gmail.com. That is
the CAP Podcast 3 at gmail.com. You send in your questions, and who knows, your question may be the next one we pick on our next episode of the Banana Peel. So without further ado,
let's go.
the segment of the Banana Peel today. Erica J, it's your time this time to read it. So
Let's
have at
go
it.
with this. So we got the banana peel coming from Lorenzo in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hey, JD and Erica, I am a huge fan of the podcast. I have a dilemma. I'm 40 years old and happily married to my beautiful wife of 10 years. Recently, my mother-in-law moved in with us due to some financial hardship. I had no problem with that. It's just me and my wife, and we have no children. My mother-in-law is a divorcee of 30 years, and her attitude can seem bitter at times. My wife is easily influenced by her mother, and lately she gets agitated by some things and has been cooking. Okay. And just going out to eat with my mom-in-law. She hasn't been cooking and just going out to eat with my mom-in-law. She has been questioning why I do certain things that has never been a problem before. How can I express to her the change I've seen since her mother came to live with us? Wow, Lorenzo. So, Lorenzo, first, as I've said earlier in this, I've never been married. So this type of scenario I don't necessarily have, but I think that the best thing would be, and we always say this, communication is key. You have to sit your wife down and talk. It would have been good to talk about this before your mother-in-law came so you can both have reached an understanding and everything. But as soon as you recognize that there is a problem, the best thing to do is to talk to your wife. And that is the most important thing, because this is your wife. True, you love your mother-in-law, you have love for the family, but ultimately this is the life that you're building. So if you don't want to see that messed up, then you have to talk to your wife and let her understand that you're noticing a problem so that you can find the best way to solve the problem together.
Okay.
That's it in a nutshell.
That's some good advice, Erica. Lorenzo, my brother. First of all, I would say, since you all accepted that your mother-in-law would come live with y'all, we know things happen a lot of times in our families and our culture or whatnot, where people may come live with you due to whatever it may be. In this case, it was a financial hardship. And something that you said that stuck out to me when I first read the email was that your mother-in-law has been a divorcee of 30 years, and she can seem bitter at times. With that right there was a caveat to why you're probably seeing the things that you're seeing now with your wife. Now, if your wife is heavily influenced by her mother, which some ladies are, some are not, depending on the relationship dynamic people have with their mothers, that is more likely the reason why she's starting to question. And I don't know what she's questioning. You didn't go into detail about what specific, but it was things that you said that she's never had a problem with before. She's cooking less. They're going out to eat, so I'm making an assumption that she's not bringing nothing home or whatever. But whichever the case is, sit her down and talk to her so this problem won't be spans out to where it can cost you all what you all have built together. Because a lot of times, unintentionally and sometimes intentionally, people have a negative view of something because of some traumatic that happened in their life. They will put it on somebody they say that they love. In this case, it's looking like it may be the mother-in-law with your wife, and you don't want that to infiltrate you all's covenant, you all's marriage. So just sit her down, talk with her. You know your wife best in the way that she can receive it without it being finger pointing, and then she would be tasked to, I would think, to talk to her mom in regards to her, okay, or whatnot. Because if it doesn't happen, this could spaz out to something that I know that you don't want to happen.
Right.
So that is my take on this. We're going to allow our guests who are experienced as far as being married to give their take on this.
Sensitive matter. I would suggest third-party intervention. Counseling, a trusted family member that you both trust, because if it turns to finger pointing, it puts you on opposite team. You want to fight to stay on the same team. And so everybody can say how they feel and not try to define it for themselves, because anytime you try to define, you invite defense. And you want somebody from the outside, hey, here's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong. Her mom came in, da-da-da-da. Hey, here's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong. He's jealous of our relationship. But whatever the situation is, I think at this point, to keep y'all on the same team, y'all need a third-party intervention.
I agree. And I think a thing that we do in our marriage that helps me, he leaves with questions. He'll say, he'll acknowledge what's going on. And I know he may, for example, I know you and your mom have a great relationship, and I appreciate the relationship, and, you wanting to be there for her. But I have noticed some things that have changed, and I just need you to help me understand these changes. And so he'll just bring it to my attention to help me see, those particular concerns of his. And he kind of put it back in my lap to answer. So now the answer is on me. But if it gets to, like you said, more defense, yeah, we might need to get a third party. So just another thought to consider, lead with questions versus statements sometimes, because sometimes statements leads to automatically on guard to defend their stance.
That's good.
Yeah. And for what you all just said, I agree with that.
I do.
It makes sense. So Lorenzo, when you see this, man, hopefully that'll help you out, because yeah, like what you just said, leading with questions as opposed to direct statements. Sometimes that changes the temperature.
That's home, yeah.
Of the temperature of the whole conversation, because when more than likely, once you start talking to your wife in that manner, she's probably gonna realize at that point, I didn't realize I was doing that. But if you leave with like,
if she's sensible,
now ever since your mama got here, now you feel my mama. You know what my mama going through and all. So yeah, you got to lead with that. So I hope that helps you out, Lorenzo. Best of luck with that, man. Keep God first, and just definitely lead with compassion, but be transparent and be honest. Is the best thing I could tell you. Yeah. So we have had a great show today.
This has been amazing.
Definitely a lot of wisdom nuggets have been dropped. So we want to give you all a chance to let all of our listeners and viewers know what you got going on. That includes your social media handles, any events, also the ministry that you have. Just have at it.
The first thing is marchonmarriage.com. Even though this is our third annual, we do it every year, but throughout the year, we try to create opportunity for couples to come together, whether it's a brunch, whether it's a call, but just to have healthy couples in the same space to know that we all go through some of the same things, to keep our focus clear on what we want as a marriage. So marchonmarriage.com. It's going to happen March 13th and 14th, and you're welcome to come out. Send us information about it. We set up easy payments for you to be a part of it, but anybody can be a part of the march on Saturday, the 14th. We also have our Beyond the Pulpit podcast, where we talk about not only what goes on in the church, but how it affects us outside of the church, especially affecting the relationships around us. If you have difficulty in your relationship, it's hard to even focus at work. So we try to give you some information to try to strengthen your relationship so it can make the rest of your life make sense. And then, of course, our church, One Accord International, 4741 Winchester Road, web address withoneaccord.com. That's the number one, withoneaccord.com. And if we talk about everything, it'll take up the rest of the day.
Last thing, though, what is the mission, Pastor, for One Accord?
We are a body of believers impacting the community, the culture, and the church through the power of God's love.
Amen.
There we go.
Powerful.
Okay, you have that. So all our listeners and viewers, you heard Pastor Terrell, First Lady Tiffany speak on all the endeavors they got going, the March on Marriage. The dates were given, the web address, the podcast. Definitely, like you support our podcast, support their podcast. We are all creatives here. We may be locally here in Memphis, but our reach is beyond Memphis. Please understand that. C.A.P is beyond Memphis, and so is Beyond the Pulpit. So definitely support, get good wisdom and knowledge from that. And so now we pivot into the detour moment with Erica J.
It's the detour. It's the detour. It's the detour moment.
Hey.
Okay. So first, before I get into the detour moment, for anyone who wants to book me for a life coach or for speaking engagements, you can book me at ericadjackson.com. That's www.ericadjackson.com. Or you can email me at Ephesians6pro@gmail.com. I am available to speak at conferences, on panels, at schools, colleges, workshops, whatever event that you may have, or you want me to come speak to your youth. I am available, so you can book me on those platforms. You can find me on Instagram as ejizzle34, I believe, and also under E6 Coaching and Consulting and Ephesians 6 Productions. And I am also under Erica Jackson on Facebook, E6 Coaching and Consulting, and Ephesians 6 Productions. So now for the detour moment. You guys have heard me talk about one of my favorite movies before. Detours 1 and 2 Detours 1 was based off this movie, and that is The Wiz. I saw a comment that I made a post about in my memories to come up, and it said, just from a song from The Wiz, "Don't you carry nothing that may be a load, just ease on down the road." There are so many things that's going on in life, and we're carrying the loads that we don't need to carry. We're carrying loads of things that we cannot handle in our own self. We have to learn to give those things to God. He can handle it. We can't. And it's robbing you of your peace. You're thinking about everything that's going on around you, and me included, because this happens to me too. We're not able to do the things that we love to do. We're not able to think creatively. And because we are allowing things to rob us of our peace. You can't handle it. He can. So don't you carry nothing that might be a load. Ease on down the road and give it to God so that you can have the peace to do what he has called you to do.
That's some good advice given by Erica J with the detour moment. Before I give you the brain drop, that little link below, linktree/Jerry Davis. If you need a speaker, anyone to be on your panel, any men's group, anything of that nature, you can book me there. I'm also Life Coach Jerry Davis on Instagram as well as Facebook. I would love to come to your event, speak, fellowship. I often tell people I'm not a pastor or a politician, no slight, but I have something to say, For the brain drop for today, don't lower the standard, raise the bar. Let me say it again. Don't lower the standard, raise the bar. We live in a time where people want to acquiesce and fit in so much that they'll lower their standards just to be a part of something. If something is worth being a part of, you don't have to lower your standards. You raise the bar up to where God expects you to be. You raise the bar to where you are trying to be your best version of you. So when people want you to kind of dim your light in order to fit in with them, it's not meant to be. That's whether it's business or personal. So don't lower the standard, raise the bar, and be all God has you to be.
Amen.
We have had a good episode today with our esteemed guest, the Mongers here today.
Yay.
Thank you all for coming out and being
Thank
a
you
part of
all.
this.
This was
We
fun.
appreciate it. A lot of wisdom dropped, some laughter.
much.
Love it. Great content.
Almost
And
I wish you all
definitely
the best in what you all doing.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
appreciate it.
This
And
is
looking
awesome.
forward to some future collaborations, Pastor Terrell. I mean,
Yes,
you know, we'll link up definitely.
I'm
Good
ready.
stuff.
So, and to all you listeners out there, like I leave you with after every episode of the podcast, if you're gonna be anything in life, be for real. This is JD.
This is Erica J.
We'll see you next time.
Peace.